My name's Pat Lynn, and 13 years ago in the summer of 2009, I broke my neck in a diving accident. So I left my house in Tacoma late June 2009 to head out on a missions trip to the Dominican Republic. And I had no idea that it would be my last time actually leaving that house. And I remember diving in like it was yesterday. I remember hitting a boulder. I tried to move my hands and I couldn't move them. I tried to move my feet and I couldn't move them. I was face down in the water and I was totally paralyzed. And I remember hearing the Holy Spirit speak to me that the Lord was going to heal me. And so when I got to the hospital, they didn't know what to do with me because it was too big to fit in their MRI machine. And the x-rays that they took, showed that my neck was severely broken. My first several days in the hospital were terrifying because I had to work for every single breath. Every single breath was, and then an exhale, and then I'd go to sleep and I'd wake up in the middle of the night panicked because I'd stopped breathing. And I was there for a week before I got back to the United States. The doctor said, the good news is that we can do surgery on you, and the bad news is that you're never going to use your hands. You're never going to walk again. You won't have your own children. You're not going to be able to drive. You need to, be used to the idea that you're going to spend the rest of your life in a chair. I remember when they told me that, I just sank, and I had to go back to Jesus' words that he was, going to provide for me and going to heal me. And here's the thing, when I heard him say he was going to heal me, I thought in 2 or 3 days I'd be out running around and playing hoops again. And turns out that my healing is totally completely different than what I pictured. My left hand, it was the first thing to move on my body. And I remember just being able to barely pick it up, just barely. I'd be sitting in a chair and just barely be able to move it just like that. And then it was quite some time before my right hand moved. But the crazy thing is that as I did PT every day, it went from barely moving anything to moving things quickly. Within a couple of weeks, I could touch my chin, all right, and pick up my hand to do that. And then I remember the day that I could get my hand all the way on top of my head for the first time. It took me over a year before I could stand up by myself. The day that I left the hospital, I walked out of my room to the elevator and I sat in my walker down the elevator, and then I walked out of the hospital. I get to be a dad. I get to, right? I get to wake up and play with my kids and teach them about the Lord. And my kids help me. They go get my crutches when I drop them. We go meet other dads. My daughter, she'll run up to somebody and say, "This is my daddy. He broke his neck." And she's proud of it. And the fact that I'm out walking and doing these things. It's a miracle that I can get on and off the floor, right? The fact that I can get down there at all and do anything out of my own physical ability to do that's incredible. But if I can get on the floor and wrestle with them and participate in what they're doing, it's amazing. There's a closeness to it, right? There's a humanness that all of us need, some connection, and my kids give me an amazing connection. And so my story, it didn't turn out to be what I wanted to be, but could I say it's not miraculous that I'm using my hands and walking, even with crutches or a walker or at all? That I drive a car, that I get to participate in life after I really should have been dead? I'd say that's miraculous. A miracle doesn't have to look like what you want it to look like. A miracle is anything that God does that's for your benefit.